50. Chop hit your head, now your top got a tick. Hey, word on the streets is my top got a tick. You'll kill you.
You ever see a man grow up without ever really leaving the jail cell? We talking about a man with 56 mugshots. 56 times CPD snapped a pic of a face that was slowly turning into stone. From the 90s all the way to now. Some call him Rose, but the boys in blue, they had a different name for him on the scanner way back in 2012. They called him the Hitman, and they wasn't talking about no movie. This man been in and out of the system since 1999. He was allergic to freedom. He was catching aggravated assault cases on school employees while most of these new drillers were still in kindergarten. Beating up teachers, catching cases in the 90s, this boy was hell from the start. You can watch him grow up just by looking at his intake photos. He spent more time inside than outside. But don't let that rap sheet fool you. Rose wasn't just a hitter. He was the coldest voice to ever come out of 051 Young Money. Hands down, the best rapper from that set. Underrated, smooth but deadly. While Melly was out there being reckless and Rockhead was causing problems, Rose was the real factor moving in the shadows with that infamous tech. Same tool Lil Mark used in No Competition. And he dissed 20 people in one song called Factors and walked the streets like he was untouchable.
Hop out the con, make sure you don't miss. We don't do no drive-bys, we don't shoot out no win. WTO, BDK, boy, simple. We catch it, we clap with a close sequence. I'ma keep the shit brief, real short and simple. Hope you quick on your feet. I got a short tip. Her chain, no, he lack. Trying to get dinner. You think I need a hook for this shit? Ain't no hook for this beat, I get real disrespect. Bitch, you holler that, why say that shit with your check? Bitch, you lack without pipe, down your ass a new pack. Hey, what you think you ask me this shit threat? This that Raheem in black, Fahim in Shaq, Stella T.Y., that's a lot to get back. Waldo was low for uploading this stack. LA got smoked after smoking this track. Real ran through the field and got quarterback sack. Rose, when you gon' chill, you don't know how to act. On phone, we gon' kill you, bitch, take that shit back. Hey, boy, shut your ass up before you get your ass smacked. And hope your ass C21 in the rack. You heard when Young Money be doing the rap. Yeah. Hey, Trigger should've had his pistol. Oh, probably should've rolled a little bit to keep him cool. I don't go nowhere without it, I keep it glued. I bet Bob wish they would've never sent them home. Lil' Vinny should've had his seatbelt on. Shit, Pluto too, where did he go wrong? At least Newski had on him, he ain't do nothing wrong till he picked his head up out his phone. Dale, he was just trying to make it home. If he took a different route, wouldn't have made this song. T-Roy didn't get to put his t-shirt on. Got a shit splack soon as he hit the...
Young Money has a rep for being one of the most hated and feared gangs in the whole city. And Rose was they level-headed monster. He probably got more bodies on his belt than even Vaughn or Melly, cause unlike them, he wasn't out there chasing clout or doing all that talking on the net. Rose was a silent savage, catching work and keeping it in the field, moving with names that never even made it to a tweet. But you can't run from the law forever. September 1st, 2020, 12 finally caught up for the last time. Arrested for first-degree murder. You locked in with Hood Edition. Today, we deep dive into the story of a man who's been a problem for 3 decades. The voice, the hitman, the ghost of Young Money, Rose. Let's get into it.
Believe half what you see and none of what you hear, shorty. Still out here. It's car killers, man. I'll be back in traffic in a minute. Go check me out on IG, man. I was still out there 30 minutes later. I was out here still riding, boy. Up, nigga. In a different car, nigga. How I?
Before he was the hitman, before he was the loose screw of Young Money, he was just Ricky Anderson. Born in 1989 on the South Side. He started out in an area they call Face World today. Back then, it was Boys Town, a GD stronghold. But by the age of 3, Ricky moved to 834 East 50th Street, right in the heart of 051. That's where he linked with Zico and Loss, building bonds that would later be signed in blood. Now here's the part that'll mess with your head. Rose wasn't a typical street kid. This boy was a genius. We talking straight A's, top of the class, a real bright future. He even attended the Cambridge School, a private institution. But there was a catch. That school sat right in THF 46 territory. Every day, a straight-A kid from Young Money had to walk through the jaws of his future enemies. All them negative encounters with the kids from 46, that's where the seed of hate was planted. That's why 051 and THF beef is so personal. But even with all that brain power, Ricky's temper was a short fuse on a big bomb. 1999, he was only 10 years old when he caught his first case, stealing a whip and trying to sell it. 10 years old. 2 years later, he's 12, and he's getting knocked for assault and carrying a pipe. He was moved by a chaotic spirit that no classroom could tame. By January 2002, he had 3 aggravated battery cases back to back. Then came the breaking point. May 2002, Rose beat up a school employee. Just like that, the private school, the straight A's, the college dreams, they was all gone, expelled, thrown back into the jaws of the streets. That same year, he caught 4 more cases: robbery, cannabis, resisting 12. He was smart enough to be anything he wanted to be, but he was too savage to be anything but a factor. He was a troubled kid with a cold mind, a kid who could solve a math equation in his head, but rather use that same head to figure out how to terrorize the block. The world lost a scholar, and Young Money gained a monster.
To understand the Hitman, you gotta understand the roots of the set. Back in the 90s, the Mickey Cobras was catching a new breath of life. Members from 51st and St. Lawrence started calling themselves the Lost Tribe. They spread out from King Drive all the way to Drexel. Out in the Drexel Towers and the row houses, they was calling it 48 Drexside. They'd all gather at the Revis Park basketball courts on 50th and Drexel, sharing the paint with the Titanic stones from 52nd. It wasn't until 2007 that the youngins took over. A small clique of teenagers called 51st Young Money emerged, founded by DJ, Rilla, and the legend Zico. They held it down at 51st and Evans, right behind Washington Plaza Park. Pretty soon, 51st Young Money and Drexside was locked in, thicker than thieves. Now let's talk about Rose in 2005. He was out there trying to serve with Zico, looking for that fast money. But truth be told, Rose was terrible at hiding from the 12. He was getting knocked for everything: cannabis, battery, domestic violence, pipes. Between late 06 and early 07, this man was arrested 4 separate times. And the crazy part? He was wearing the same exact jacket in every single mugshot. 56 mugshots, and he couldn't even change his coat between them. Talk about a loose screw. He really earned that nickname. One of them arrests was for assaulting a man with a pipe and a knife at the same time. Rose wasn't playing fair. He was playing for keeps. He tracked it himself in the song We Back, rapping about how back in 06 he was already boosting the temperature. By 9, he was out there getting risky, and by 19, he was permanently toting that iron.
Back in 06, I've been boosted to temperature. Fast forward to 19, I'm still toting my blick. Rewind to 09, I was out getting risky. Don't slide down on Mac, cause we bound to get sick. The wig made it home, now it's time to get busy. Gang.
Back then, Rose, Rel, Loss, and Lance, they all claimed Drexside. 48 and Drexel was the mothership. But the streets moved fast. A few years later, the ties broke, the location shifted, and they moved the whole operation down to 51st Street. The Drexside days was over, and the era of Young Money was finna begin. Between 2006 and 2007, it looked like Rose was trying to set a world record for the most mug shots in Chicago history.
Most of it was small-time things back then. But every time 12 clicked them handcuffs, Rosé's name grew heavier on the block. He was the front line factor, a man with a temper like a thunderstorm, and nobody, I mean nobody, was looking to challenge the loose screw. But 2008, that's when the game turned deadly. Every war got its first blood, and for Young Money, it was loss. Imagine this, you throwing a party to show love to your people. An OG from Dreck's side named Franco tries to serve drugs at your spot. Loss told him to move his feet, and Franco responded with lead. Franco's finna be in a cage until 2063 for that move. Loss was the first real loss for 51st, and Lost City was born in his honor. A few months later, Lance got smoked out in Wisconsin, and Lance Land became the new name on the map. The OGs was falling, and the youngins was catching a taste of that bitter street reality. September 27th, 2008, Zico. He was the same age as Rosé. They grew up in the mud together. Zico was at the McDonald's parking lot on 47th and Cottage Grove. He got into a heated wordplay with two 18-year-olds from Drexel View, what we call THF 46 today. Akey Walton and Ramel Outlaw. Middle of the argument, Akey pulled out a pipe and put two in Zico's chest and back. Zico breathed his last the next day. Akey walked away, but he couldn't hide. He fled to Indiana, thinking he escaped the rack, but 12 called in the FBI. 8 months of hunting before they caught him in Indianapolis. 27 years in the pen for a beef in a McDonald's lot. But for 51st, Zico became Nate Tuka. THF, 600, O-Block, they all kept Zico's name in their mouth just to mock the set. Every time an op disrespected Zico, it was like a new bullet hitting the heart of Young Money. But this is where the Hitman really started to form. Zico World was founded on pain. Rosé didn't just lose a friend, he lost his peace. From that day on, the genius kid from the private school was dead and buried. Only the loose screw was left, and he was looking to collect everything the city owed him.
Pain has a way of welding people together. By 2009, after loss, Lance and Zico failed, the youngest from St. Lawrence to Drexel stopped acting like separate sets. They united under one banner, 051 Young Money. But as they grew, they lost some brothers too. Gutterville broke away, turning into bitter opposition. Young Money started clicking up with Mint Boy, Lake Park, and Lawless. But there was one monster lurking that wasn't finna let them breathe. THF 46. 46 didn't just want to beef. Pushed 051 into a war that would stain the streets for a decade. By 2010, the temperature was boiling over. March 9th, Aero and Rockhead was just leaving Diet High School when Rio from Gutterville started letting lead fly from 25 feet away. Aero took a hit but walked himself right into Providence Hospital. Told 12 it was Rio, but in Iraq, you don't sign no papers. He refused to press charges, keeping it in the streets. Then came December 2nd. 16-year-old Lil Mark was chilling at a bus stop on South Cottage Grove. Tracy from 46 rolled up to end him, but Mark wasn't no victim. He pulled his own pipe and started barking back. Mark took a hit. He survived, only to get locked up for the two. Right after that, Big A, T Streets, and Chop went on a lick at an apartment on 49th. They acted like they wanted some treat, but as soon as the door opened, Big A put a high point to the man's head and ended it, leaving a soul behind. April 8, 2011. This is when Rosé officially became the Hitman. He was still burning his side over Zico. He was out sliding with Kiddo in Montana when they caught a 3-piece at apartment 800 on East 46. Quint, Bezu, and Rome. Montana and Rosé jumped out and painted the street red. They didn't just shoot him, they jumped back in the
whip and ran over Rome before they fled. Quint didn't make it. Zoo and Rome survived the lead. Rome's leg was snapped in half from the tires. Rome is Quint's brother, and that's why the hate for 051 runs so deep in his veins. Retaliation came fast. 46 shot Chop 3 days late, and Chop snitched on a guy named Wayne, sending him away for 20 years. Then Buckshot from 46 collected Big Freaky from Trexar. Young Money didn't wait. Lil Mark at T Streets caught Lil Tony from 46 and put him in the dirt.
Hours later, Bruh and Buckshot in the zoo from Mid Boys. The bodies was falling like rain. The hitman was officially in the field, and there wasn't no looking back.
Late June 2011, 12 caught Rose with a pipe. They should have kept him, but they let him walk. And that was a costly mistake for the South Side. By September, the hitman was allegedly collecting his second body. Kendron Jones from Delmar. It was a robbery gone wrong on South Langley. The irony is cold. Kendron and his pops had killed a clerk in a robbery years back. Kendron walked from that case, only to get caught by the same game he played. Life is a circle in the rack, and the sky turned black for Young Money. November 2011. T Streets got caught by Trouble and Twiller from 46. That was a heavy blow. Young Money started barking at everybody. Kiddo and Melly went and took Shaq from 600, opening a whole new front in the war. Then Bobble from THF took Lil Chief. It was back and forth, lead for lead.
June 22nd, 2012. One of the saddest days on 51st. Fathead, only 14 years old, gunned down by C-Dye and OJ. Only 8 days later, 051 showed the city they weren't just toting pistols. They pulled out the AK-47 and Andy Black from THF. Whispers say Rose was right there, looking through the sights. Earned that hitman reputation every single day. Fast forward to 2014, Lil Mark dropped No Competition, one of the most disrespectful tracks in the history of drill. In the video, you see him, Rose, standing there with that infamous Tech 9. It looked like a movie, but the credits rolled too fast. 3 days later, Mark was at the bus stop on Cottage Grove. A silver minivan slid up, found D-Rose, lid shattered the glass. Mark fell right where he stood. 12 found D-Rose's van on fire that night, burning tombstone for a Young Money legend. 051 didn't cry, they hunted. Shannon collected TJ from Weird City in a gangway, catching 80 years for it. Pre-boy caught Aaron from P-Block after asking a question he didn't like. Then, the big one, OTF Nusky, Dirk's cousin, caught in a parking lot. Rockhead allegedly put that score on the board, but the streets always collect. A month later, Lil Boo from 600 took Polo. Rose watched his brothers fall one by one. Every death made the hitman colder. 2015 opened up cold, man. November vibes in January. Young Money took a hit straight to the chest when Frump got collected by OBN Scooter. But March was when 51st turned the city into a frying pan. Melly, the grave digger himself, allegedly caught OTF Chino lacking in his whip. Just like that, a main face from the OTF movement was gone. That wasn't just a score. That was a war declaration that shook the whole South Side. 3 days later, the ops was hunting for blood. Rose was rolling in that great Dodge Charger on Langley, thinking he was moving low. But 46 was already in his rear view. 3 whips, a brown Jeep, a white Ford, and another ghost whip sided up on him like a pack of wolves. It looked like a movie scene, but the bullets were shattering real glass. Rose smashed the gas, racing down 49th and smashing on the Evans until the Charger couldn't take no more lead and wrecked out.
He jumped out that smoking metal and ran for his soul, bleeding from a fresh wound, punching 911 just to stay above dirt.
Believe half what you see and none of what you hear, shorty. Still out here. Y'all niggas car killers, man. I'll be back in traffic in a minute. Go check me out on IG, nigga. I was still out there 30 minutes later. I was out here still riding, boy. Up, nigga. In a different car, nigga. How wide?
Dre Money from the 4-6 was out there talking savage on the net, claiming that worked for Chino.
But Young Money don't fold. They retaliate. April came and they linked up with Gyro City to catch the big fish. Lil Boo from 600. Ariel's on the wheel, steering that death whip for the set. But in the rack, you don't even get a second to celebrate. 6 weeks later, a young hitter named Raheem from 46 caught Melly and Ariel lacking. He opened up and put lead in Melly's dome and leg. Ariel took a hit to the shoulder. It was a miracle they didn't end up on a t-shirt that night. But Arrow just grazed his leg and walked off the pain like it was nothing. 9 days. That's all the clock gave him. You don't put Melly in the hospital and expect to see the next month. Ariel and Arrow allegedly caught Raheem and closed his book forever. Ariel caught the case, but then the game got muddy. He reportedly started pointing the finger at Sonny for Rock Nation to duck that murder charge. The loyalty was fading, but the bodies just kept stacking. By 2016, the 600 beef was fading out into the mist. They never caught that get back for Lil Boo, so the fire died down to ashes. But 46, they was still looking to crack the scoreboard. June 10th, they caught T-Berg from the 5-1. Tracy and Rome allegedly put that lead in them for Chino and Raheem. Then, out the blue, Folly Boys jumped in the mix. They sprayed a house party and took Bankroll Q, leaving 5 more bleeding. Big mistake. The very next day, Melly went and collected Lil Dale to balance the books. But the year closed out bitter. Shaw Mac got caught by Rome and T-Man. The cycle was spinning faster than ever. Now we at 2017. This where Rose officially became a ghost story in the Chiraq. Bobo, one of the most feared demons from 46. He just beat a murder case and posted a 10K bomb. At 11 p.m., he walked out the Cook County jail wearing a gray hoodie, thinking he was a free man. He didn't even last 6 hours. Rose, Uchi, and KD was waiting in a white SUV with Cook Mac on the wheel. They pulled up on California Avenue right outside the cage and opened the gates of hell. It was brazen, man. Witnesses saw the whole thing. 24 holes in the side of the car. Bobo took 19 of them to the body. Traffic came to a dead stop while lead was flying. They wrecked the getaway whip at a gas station just 400 feet away and fled on foot. Rose was picked out by a witness, and Uchi left a cigarette with his DNA in the car. Later on, Rose jumped on that factor's track and spat on his grave. I bet Bob wished they never sent him home. He caught a whole legend, just steps away from the cell block.
I bet Bob wish they would've never sent them home. Lil Vinny should've had his seatbelt on. Shit, Pluto.
46 was furious. 4 days later, they went looking for a target at the Go-Low gas station on 51st in Indiana. Hellvale and Buddha from SKD was inside. Surveillance footage showed them dropping to the floor, but that was the wrong move. If they held that door shut, they might be breathing. One of them even tried to use the other as a human shield. But lead don't discriminate. Vale and Buddha both turned to a pack. Billa from 46 rapped a dissing Bobo is the reason Vale turned to a pack.
This is Bobo, that's the shit get you whack. Y'all the reason Vale turned to a pack.
But 51st just laughed at him. They told him y'all caught the wrong ones.
Fat Shorty allegedly did that work, but it didn't slow down the Young Money train. Rose was still out there, mocking the dead in every song, showing the world that the hitman don't stop for nobody. 2019 was the year the ground shook for the 5-1. It was the year they lost the heartbeat of the set, Melly. September 1st, a house party in Jarrow City territory. Tensions had been boiling like a pot on a stove between Melly and Nate from Taquan World. Word on the street says Melly had allegedly caught Nate's crib with a hopper while his family was inside. Nate didn't forget. He was already at the party, watching Melly in the corner. He faked like he was leaving, doubled back, and opened fire inside that crowd. Melly took lead to the chest, the stomach, and the groin. Just like that, the gravedigger's clock stopped ticking. The next day, the city felt the retaliation. Travis from Jarrow, the man who filmed the hit, got collected by shadows. Then drove from Taquan World, got found slumped in a whip with 7 holes in. He survived by a miracle, but the message was sent. Young Money was telling the world, you take ours, we take everything. Out of that bloodshed, a new movement was born. Melly Way. 051, Geo Drive, and 757 clicked up to honor the fallen king. A few months later, Richie Jerk from Taquan World was the next to see the dark. Retaliation for Melly. Whispers say Rose was right there in the mix, sliding with the youngins from 757. If that's true, that was his 4th body collected. Rose was active that spring, moving like he knew the clock was winding down. May 29th, 12 tried to stop him in Washington Park. He didn't have a pipe on him, but he had that fire in his soul. He reportedly slapped a cop across the face and tried to bolt. He walked on a small bond, but the eyes of the city was fixed on him. July 14th, 12 saw Whip linked to a fresh homicide. Rose was on the wheel. He tried to roll up the window and smash the gas, but they caught him. He was beating gun charges left and right in court, grabbing 2 victories in 2 years. But the law don't stop hunting. August 27th, the cuffs clicked for the last time. Booked for murder 1. The victim, Lante from Poppy Gang, a West Side hustler. 5 shots to the head and chest outside a corner store. Nobody knows why it went down. Money, girls, or just that Chiraq heat. Then 12 tried to pin Bobo's murder on him too, claiming someone in the set snitched it. They dropped that charge due to lack of proof, but the Lante case is a different beast. Rose is sitting in that cold cell in Cook County right now, waiting for his day in front of the judge. The man who survived ambushes, wrecked cars, and 56 mugshots is finally looking at the end of the road. You locked in with Hood Edition. We just walked through the life of a man who became a myth in the streets of Chicago. Rose, the hitman of 51st. A story of lead, loyalty, and the cost of the crown. Keep your eyes open and your head on a swivel. We out.